Hi, my name is Sebastiaan and I'm an ex-social anxiety disorder sufferer. And thanks to the technique called EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, which is a gentle tapping technique to quickly release and let go of negative emotions, as well as the help of some brilliant therapists, I've been able to become anxiety-free. And because most people find it hard to believe that EFT is a real thing, I'm interviewing Western traditionally trained psychologists and psychotherapists on a podcast show. These people have incorporated EFT or other advanced techniques into their practice and have seen the results of their clients go through the roof. Now, my supervisor and psychotherapist and trainer of therapists, Dr. David Lake, said on the podcast show the other day, I see my professional life as before I found out about EFT and after I found out about EFT, because the difference is monumental. So you can find out more about that at socialanxietysolutions.com/podcast. Now in this video, I'm going to answer, and by the way, you can learn the tapping here, okay? So in this video, I'm going to answer a question that was sent to me, and I'll read it to you now. Here we go. Sebastiaan, I was brought by my parents to an infant home 10 days after my birth for 4.5 months, which is now 62 years ago. The business of my parents was more important in post-war Germany. I've worked quite a lot on the consequences also of the unfeelingness of my mother, made many seminars, and became finally a therapist too. Originally, I'm a business administrator. I came very far on the way of healing, yet what still faces me is that often I can hardly sleep at night because as soon as my subconscious take over, I feel a deep feeling of unsafety and insecurity. For me, it is a good sign because I think that now I come in an area deep enough. Perhaps you have an idea. Yeah, so what I highly suspect that is going on when you feel those feelings of unsafety and insecurity is a trauma gets triggered. So when you're trying to go to sleep, something, a sight, a sound, a thought, the way your pillow lies, or whatever the case may be, something reminds your brain of a trauma. So a trauma gets triggered. So there's a traumatic experience which is highly likely from the period you described, 10 days after to 4.5 months to 5 months after your birth. And what happens when a trauma gets triggered is your system gets flooded with those sights, sounds, sensations, and the feelings that were held in the trauma. So in order for a trauma to happen, there is something that violates your expectations. There is a shock. There's a moment that there's something that you do not have control over, and it feels like a threat. So during those early days, if your first 10 days you're cuddled and you're loved, and then all of a sudden you're taken away from your parents, which is your sense of safety, that can likely be the trauma itself. Now, it's possible or likely that you do not remember that consciously. Okay. However, you're aware of the feelings. So working on this yourself is probably not a great idea, and I highly recommend that you find a qualified practitioner, and that person can help you deal with that, and can probably help you deal with that pretty quickly. So that person will help you resolve the trauma, and then when that trauma is no longer there, it's my guess and expectation that you can comfortably sleep through the night after 62 years. So hope that answers your question. And if you want to have a bit more in-depth explanation on how that works with trauma, I suggest you check out episode number 8, where I interview Gwyneth Moss, one of the EFT masters. And that can be found at socialanxietysolutions.com/Gwyneth. GWYNETH. Hope this has been helpful, And if you want to have more videos like this, you can subscribe here. I release one every Thursday. And if you have a question, you can send that to socialanxietysolutions.com/contact. It will show up in my inbox. If it's a great question, I'll answer it for you on video. Thank you very much for your interest and time, and I talk to you soon. Bye.